What's going on, guys? Happy Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate. And with Thanksgiving, we have to be grateful for all of the things that we have. It's about 11 p.m. here. I'm doing a bit of work, wrapping up my day, getting ready for bed. And Thanksgiving also should be, to those of you who are actually trying to achieve something with your life or have a deadline that shit needs to get done, you need to start doing something fast. Should be a warning sign to you. 2025, for a large majority of people, I know myself, I thought, 2025 is going to be my year. 2025, I'm going to make this much. Blah, 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 blah. Although, yes, I achieved my New Year's resolutions or whatever. I don't know how many of you guys actually set those. But regardless of that, it should be a warning to you guys that 2025 is almost over. I mean, there's 1 month left, and you need to sit down and on Thanksgiving, not only be thankful and grateful for what you have, but also take a moment to reflect, see what you do have, what you've accomplished, where you've started from, where you're at now, and all of those things, and start to understand that and say, okay, I have 1 month left of this year. How am I going to spend that? 2026 is coming. Okay, what do I want to do in 2026? How can I best prepare myself for 2026? I'm not just going to sit here this entire video and just start lecturing you. One of the main purposes of this channel is to act as a documentation of me doing that. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to practice what I preach. Now, I said let's look back at the beginning of the year. We can talk about all the financial things. We can also talk about the physical things. We can also talk about how I'm doing with women and all of those things. And over the last year, I have really excelled in all of those categories. I've really been able to, make a big jump from where I was before. The only thing I would have done if I could go back in the past and change something is to set bigger goals. Because at the beginning of the year, I was like, I want to make 10K. I want to have 10K in the bank. Now that I've far surpassed that, I'm like, dude, that was a small goal. That's really not that big of a deal. That's not that much. Now I'm 16, and there are 16-year-olds and people who are my age doing insane things that maybe I couldn't even do. But regardless of that, I look back, I reflect, and I always say every single night that I'm thankful to God for everything that I do have, and I suggest you guys do the same. Show thanks, show gratitude, show gratefulness for the things that God has given you. And the fact that you even have life on this planet at all. And God should really be the center of anything that you guys do, especially with money making, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I don't really think it's a very good idea to start selling out to, certain things that are really not moral or against the will of God. On that note, 2026, I have now seen what I can actually do when I set big goal. For me at that time, $10,000 was a big goal. But now 2026 is coming. I'm 16, turning 17 years old in 2026. I'm going to set even larger goals. That's how I'm going to prepare. And how I'm going to prepare is in this time right now, we have this little vacuum in December where everyone is doing nothing. And a lot of people are just waiting for the new year to come in order to start taking action on their goals, in order to start going to the gym. That's why you see on New Year's Day, there's now 10,000 new people in your gym and then they disappear after a week. All of those things are true. What you need to do in this time is, and what I'm going to do in this time, is I've decided, okay, I've already set the goals for 2026. Now, how am I going to help myself to get there now so that when 2026 rolls around in 1 month from now, I'm ready to go and I'm just destroying everything, right? Or that I'm really, really working hard, achieving those goals. And it's not even just about working hard, but it's also working smart. And it's combining the both, right? Working hard and smart together. But quite honestly, if I really think about it, I've dedicated 99% of my life to just working and trying to make money and just business in general. And that has shown through, what I watch is all, money motivational type shit. It's stuff that is going to create my reality, create me, and make me a better person as a whole. Then, if you look at, the things that I do, 99% of what I do is some sort of work, some sort of thing that's going to make me better as a person. And I really think that if any of you guys actually do decide to endeavor on becoming a multimillionaire, and there's a really good quote, I don't remember it exactly, but try and become a millionaire for what it is going to make of you to achieve that. So it's not really the reward at the end. It's not, I'm a millionaire, but all of the things that you had to do to get. Now, on this note as well, I might as well just throw it in. A lot of people have been, saying, you should go to college, all this college talk. And I'm going to express my honest thoughts. I don't like the idea of going $100,000 in debt. I understand that there's some networking opportunities, but for the vast majority of the people going to college, like barely any of them are going to have really similar mindset to me. And not 99%, let me be fair, maybe 80, 70, 60, some large percentage of people who are going primarily not only, okay, fine, for the education, but also for the experience. And that experience includes, drinking and parties and just wasting time. And I have no real stick up against parties and drinking, it's totally no problem, right? But just being surrounded by those people is very different from being surrounded by, going into an apartment with me and my boys. I'm 19, I'm 20 almost, or whatever it is, 18, 19, working with the guys. We're working on our goals. And by the time you're coming out of college, we're already making what you would be making coming out. We've already been making that for the last year, for the last 2 years. And we've been bettering ourselves, and we've actually got real world skills. You have gone to college, you have gotten an education, and you haven't had any experience. You haven't actually done anything. And I've been out there for the last 4 years while you've been jacking off in college and doing shit. I don't believe in read a book and sit down and fucking take notes on random bullshit. I believe in taking action. Take action on something. Get something done. Try. And worst case scenario, oh, what if your business doesn't work? 10 out of 10 people say. Everyone's like, oh, what if your business doesn't work? One of two options. I don't want to be a middle guy. I don't really want to be, my mom is fairly well off. We live in a middle class family. It's not too bad, right? But I don't want to be that. I can't live an existence where I'm just kind of in the middle. I'm barely getting by. I'm barely making enough money to kind of pay my bills, pay for my food, pay for my kids, pay for this, that, and the other thing. And at the end of the month, I'm left with like 2-3 grand. I can't live an existence like that. So either I'm going to become multimillionaire or I'm going to be broke, living on the beach, living on the fucking, just being homeless. I don't know. Either that or I'm rich. Like, get rich or die trying is the thing here. Get rich or die trying. I'm not going to not be rich. And if I'm not going to be rich, I'm done. I'm dead, basically. Or I'm going to be trying to get rich. Now, a lot of people say, okay, so if your business doesn't work, what are you going to do? Sales. And nobody understands this when I talk to people about, okay, what is your business? Home services, right? They think, okay, manual labor, okay, Mexican people. But nobody sees on the front end of all of the shit that I'm doing, or even on the back end, all of the shit that I'm doing in sales. This is all sales. Closing the deals to do all the Mexican labor is sales, which is a everlasting motherfucking skill. If you master sales, I will never ever go broke. Why? There's car sales, real estate, 10 different other options for sales, insurance sales, life insurance, all of these type of sales that, come from the door-to-door skill. And it's an intellectual thing. I'm not using my body as much. I'm just using my brain and operating. And not convincing, but, walking people through and helping people help themselves. That's what it is, helping people help themselves. And nobody understands that. And also the network that you can acquire from, neighborhoods like this. There are good numbers of people who are very well off, who know things I don't. There are people out there who are like, shit, you're a young hustler. I like that. If you need anything, here's my number. You have my number. You did a job for me. But if you need anything, give me a call. Maybe I'll help you out. And I think those people might be far better connections than some of the connections I can make in college. And on top of that is managing that, right? You're having all these people come in. So how are you managing, okay, all of the people who are working for you? That's another skill right there, human resources. All of these skills you learn, nobody understands that, there's so many skills involved with running even a business like this. Even I don't have a car, even I'm running with a bike, all of these things, there are so many nuances, so many things that, need to be taken care of in order to run the business. But regardless of all that, it's Thanksgiving. Give thanks. Show gratefulness. Show that you give a shit. 2026 is coming. Decide what you're going to do with your year. Set big goals. Decide and plan how you're going to achieve those goals and start preparing now before 2026. So when 2026 arrives, you are going to have the jump and the head start on everybody else. If you guys enjoyed this content, this was kind of more of a sit down, just giving my thoughts off the cuff, my thoughts straight out of my head on not only that's Thanksgiving, but also college, also money making in general, also what you should be doing and what I'm currently doing to prepare myself the best way as possible for 2026, the skills that you learn running a business, and all the things in between. If you enjoyed this type of content, make sure you drop a sub. It really, really helps me out. And leave a like, leave a comment. It costs you nothing to drop a sub. Just drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. And if you guys want to watch any of my other videos, pick one of these up on screen. Peace out, guys.